me a little bit more about Eureka Nova and what you do and what you offer.
Sure. At Eureka Nova, we all offer an open innovation platform that's under new role development that gives us access to a lot of different businesses, anything from retail, property development, to hotels, infrastructure. We open up these type of opportunities for startups because what we do at Eureka Nova is to access the different business strategies and technology transformation strategies amongst the units, and we try to identify the objectives, the KPIs, and how we quantify it moving forward. And then we wear a different hat where we go out and talk to startups and try to identify the right type of startups that can actually integrate their solution and roll it out and scale it. The idea is that we would like to ensure that we're able to create a solution that benefits both sides, giving them access not just locally but in the region as well.
And would you say that's kind of something unique that you offer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'll give you an example. I think we have some IoT startups that come in and they look at providing, for instance, our properties more energy saving solutions. For our business, we think that not only are we contributing, but when it comes to energy efficiency, we're just a little bit more productive in that way. And then on the other end, we offer a startup a big platform for them to roll out their technology. We run these pilots. If there are bugs, we debug them. And we find ways to actually give them industry insight to help them better scale and not lose their time in a way. And we've already had quite a few successful pilots that we're rolling out in GBA at the moment.
Wow, so you just mentioned the Greater Bay Area, and it seems it's quite a hotbed for innovation and startup businesses. What do you think is driving that?
Yeah, I think there's more conversation and actually true partnership between GBA and Hong Kong. I think not only the public sector, but the private sector already sees the benefit on both ends. I do see a lot of policy also trying to bring a lot more startups and more entrepreneurs into GBA and help roll out their solution in that market. So if you just rewind 4 or 5 years ago till today, I think the science parks that have been developed, the policies that have been developed, these things are in favor of entrepreneurs that are trying to leverage the GBA area.
Great, and how do you think corporates fit in with this? How are they helping to support the startups that are coming into the region?
Yeah, I think corporates are starting to look at ways on how entrepreneurs and startups can actually help their business solutions. At New World Development, we do have a creating shared value approach to how we can open up a platform where not only do we benefit as a business, but we actually offer a platform that helps the startups, right? And so I think corporates are not looking at this as just a CSR activity anymore or a PR activity. They're looking at how do they leverage the resources they have internally and drive productivity that actually drives true business value, hopefully solving real business problems or actually opening doors to something new in the future. Yeah.
Brilliant. And so what do you think the next big thing might be? What's the most exciting developments you're seeing on the horizon?
Yeah, I think personally for myself, and I think it's starting to make an impact in the general public, is looking at technologies that have a social impact to it. Are you just bringing in a technology that's profit making, or are you looking at bringing in solutions and technologies that help the world, help the people, help the environment? I think this is something that we are starting to look at very seriously. We just launched a program called Impact Commons, where we're identifying United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and we try to define metrics that align with our group. For instance, if we're looking at smarter buildings, we try to identify metrics, bring them out into case studies, and then want to co-create a solution with a startup. So looking at this, it also allows us in this virtual world to extend beyond Hong Kong and GBA. So moving forward, we want to bring international solutions to the environment, to social elements here in Hong Kong, because there are multiple benchmarks that we can learn from. And I think again, this opportunity, this I wouldn't call it predicament, but this zone we're in with a virtual world allows us to do that.
Yeah. Now, do you think that the coronavirus outbreak has actually changed people's views? Because you talk about sustainability, and I feel it may have actually made people think a lot more in depth about that.
That's right.
Sort of, what are the sort of opportunities that it's actually presented and made people rethink how they approach business?
Yeah, I think that's the key word, rethink. Right? I think a lot of companies are kind of at a wait and see approach, and that may not be right. Whereas you see more innovative companies are going, okay, well, this is just another hurdle and we have to take an opportunity or take this challenge and turn it into an opportunity. And I'm starting to see a lot of businesses starting to rethink how they can actually introduce not just a short-term model, but a model that could change the industry in the future, right? Some examples in the market, you look at obviously Zoom, we've heard about that, but now they're really looking at how they can solve video conference fatigue, right? In other countries, you just can't go to gyms, for instance, but there are gyms in the market that are looking at how they can rent out their equipment to their members. So they're continuing to rethink in this predicament that we're in and turning it into a true business. And it really goes back to, again, at New World, we have this creating shared value mindset and always thinking if we can introduce a business model that not just benefits us, but benefits the community. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, what do you think the biggest challenges ahead that people should be aware of?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is that now we have an extra variable we have to think about with a coronavirus like this, or in the future some sort of an outbreak. So I think companies have to rethink what is a plan B and what's a plan C, right? In the past, if you're doing events, you're thinking, okay, well, we're thinking about the weather, right? But now you're thinking about a virus that's super unpredictable. So I think for companies, you just have to be better prepared. Not just a large corporation, but even a startup. So if you have that type of mindset, I really think that as a group, having a growth mindset allows you to take these hurdles and turn it into a true business opportunity. So I think that will be one of our biggest challenges ahead.